Right.
Ross, how did you read it? Did you rise up to a new level tonight, or was it more a case of taking advantage of an immature team?
I don't think it's either, to be truthful. I just think we did what we needed to do. Let's acknowledge where Brisbane's at. They're really on the right path. You know, Justin Leppich is leading them really well. They're a young group. You know, they were without their talisman, you know, Brown. And so it's the biggest trip in Australia. So there's a lot of variables that pointed to we should have a strong performance. But, you know, they've had a capacity with their small forwards like we saw early in the third quarter to unsettle teams and ultimately get a couple of victories, you know, against the Bulldogs and Carlton. So, you know, we're on trying to improve our footy. It was a really difficult night, you know, by probably Perth standards, not by Melbourne, or, you know, in regards to the weather and all those things. So, and credit to our guys, they come out really focused. And I thought, bar probably a 10 or 12 minute patch, we delivered a really focused effort and worked on some things that we've been trying to. And, you know, I thought we're disciplined in the way we went about it. So we take the 4 points and go home without injury, and really already focusing on pretty much we'll do our review, but it'll be pretty sharp. And another good week on the track. We really trained really well during the week, and you know, we've got a home derby, so for fans and members, and really just on that, you know, to see the crowd that turned up tonight and hear them in voice, you know, they're really getting in behind us, and we really appreciate it. So really to our members and fans, thanks for coming out in these conditions tonight. So we've got a home derby. We're aiming to play really strong football against the West Coast Eagles next week. So we understand it's a bigger challenge and one we'll focus on pretty much immediately.
I think it was the lowest score the club's conceded in its 20-year history for a coach that prides his teams on team defence and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Is it significant?
Well, I don't take any extra pleasure out of it. As I said, they're a young team. You know, at some level, this club was here. You know, 2008, kicked 1 goal at Adelaide. So, you know, the wheel will turn for them. You know, we're working really hard to try and be a top team. I think it places us in the top 4, but there's plenty of battles ahead to try and sort of either improve that position or maintain that position. So there's there's no great pleasure in that. That doesn't matter to me.
The centre square work, particularly before half time, which gave you the field position that led to your overall dominance, Ross. Is that as clean as you've been, given the conditions, I guess? As well?
There was something we're focused on, and it's been an area that we can improve. We're probably about, without being too technical, about 90% of the way of what we wanted to do, but there were some basics that weren't allowing us to capitalise on either hit-outs or first possession. So they worked on it. That's our model, identify the problem, work on it hard during the week, so they put some more time into it. And against a group that can be okay in there, really. They were pretty good. Yeah, it was pleasing.
Would you be reasonably happy if, let's say, I know you always say you've got to earn the right to play in September, but if come September you had to play a final in the wet, it seems to suit your style of play, that sort of relentless effort.
Yeah, look, I know we're a good wet weather team. That's the first thing. We trained in the wet all week. The players were bouncing around, and you know, and look, last year in September we played in the wet days. So it doesn't faze us, and we like it dry. But we're not a big, tall team. We're not super tall. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with it living on the ground for us.
Did you have to make a slight adjustment? The guys were going meterage early, obviously, with the conditions. When you're going inside 50, did you have to lower the eyes a little bit more towards the back end of the first term, start of the second? Was that?
Yeah, I think we still put it in. Earlier I thought we were a bit wide, and at times a bit too deep, like where it just got to the goal line and rushed through. So we tried to put it, not live as wide at times, and put it to a little bit more dangerous spot. You know, I don't think we took many marks inside 50. Probably lowered ours a couple of times, but yeah, I thought we were a bit wasteful where we put it early wide and a bit too deep.
Just on the breaking into the top 4, as you mentioned, how significant a moment is that in the season? And obviously you plan to stay there.
Well, no more than where it puts us. But if it finished now, it'd be fantastic. It'd be really significant. But I don't think it does. I think there's 9 to go, and I don't think we've got enough wins to secure ourselves in the final 8. So there's plenty to go here. You know, a really big challenge. But we like sitting there. You'd rather be there than not there. But actually, at this point in the year, anything can happen. You know, there's lots of water to flow under the bridge here. So we're on a long, arduous climb, but it was a good climb today.
11 goals for Valentine in 2 weeks. Can you just talk about his form at the moment?
Yeah, self-evident, it's pretty good, but he's working really hard without the ball. His pressure's good. You know, I thought Sylvia down there was really strong tonight, strong over the ball, great tackle pressure. Main, Pavlich, Daniel Pearce, Subin, Clark and Sandilands, and Five for Monday going through there. So we're more flexible, more going through there. And Hayden, at the minute, it'll be someone else's turn next week, hopefully. And if it's Hayden, that's good, but it doesn't have to be.
Has he taken his game to a new level though, by I know not for ball?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. It's pretty much what he's produced. It's been his trademark for the last 4, 5, 6 years, or really it was his trademark appeal, wasn't it? Like pressure and kick goals. So that's just him.
A few weeks ago, he spoke about the need to increase his form away from home, but it seems to have done that as well. Is he in career best touch even at the moment?
Well, I haven't been here his whole career, so I can't judge it. Do you know what I mean? But if he spoke about home and away, I think that's something that got through to the keeper. It didn't get past me because I wouldn't have agreed with it, So, yeah, I don't judge career best form, but he's playing good footy.
Are you all clear with injury?
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah. Pav got a whack on the nose.
Is it those conditions taxing leading into a derby? Would you like an offer all early in the
I
week?
haven't asked him. I wouldn't have thought so. We're professionals. Hot, cold, medium, we don't care.
Ross, does Sylvia sort of give you coverage for Walters? He's low to the ground. He's a different sort of player, but he's that low to the ground, powerful pressure forward.
Yeah, I think there's some similarities. Yeah, I think it's a good point. But Son's on the way back. So he's coming. He'll be back. Not too distant future. So he's back running. And Cole's his own player. I hear what you're saying, but look, I thought. One swallow doesn't make a summer, but I thought there was some really strong over the ball, strong aggressive tackling, and I think he earned a little bit off the players tonight, some respect and welcome into the team a little bit. But that's an ongoing challenge for everyone that pulls on the jumper. The past performance doesn't dictate there, so he certainly did enough tonight to guarantee himself next week, as a lot did. But from there, it's a week-to-week proposition for everyone.
Providing your injured players track as they are expected to, is it a real challenge for you and your match committee to get your best to pick a best 22 towards September?
No, it tends to take care of itself. Your best 22 tends to pick itself, but there's some pressure, obviously around. But the incumbents, I'd rather be in than out the team at the minute. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ross.